Deborah Skipper, Highview Terrace. One thing I've gotten very, Marie and also I believe we both have, we've really gotten very, I won't say proficient in this tax sales that go on in the township. The township used to do them in-house, and now they are doing them with a company out of Michigan called Real Auctions. I know our township workers are extremely overworked right now with a smaller staff. But I'm not sure why we don't do the auctions in-house. If you look at the list that I gave you, I was fortunate enough, between Shayla and Real Auctions in Michigan, they were able to walk me through on how to get the last, in April, winning bids of the properties in town. I think there's 1,900 of them. If you look at the names, they're all foreign companies. And learning about tax sales, you start on an interest that's 18% and you bid downward. Once you get to zero, then you pay a premium. So in other words, you're paying more than what the taxes are, water or sewer. If you look at some of these premiums, there's been 51,000, 30,000, 20,000, 1,500. To me, it looks like it's a great way to move some money around, and whether it be laundering or pushing it to another year for taxes. But it's a shame that we've let other countries come in and purchase up our, well, not yet purchase, but bid on our properties, because it takes about 2 years if it's not paid off. It would really be nice if we could look into keeping it back into our township and giving a chance to our local younger people, homeowners or renters who want to own a home or want to own a piece of property, to keep it local. Not, I hope you take a moment and look at these. It's really quite embarrassing. So anyway, I'm hoping that the council will take a look at that. My other concern is our insurance issues, or should I say, lack of insurance issues. I have heard that the township will be covered by JIF till the first, well, they will stay with the insurance companies, and they will insure the township along with the other, 29 or 28 or whatever is townships. But Jack is no longer going to be insured as of the first of the year. I hope that you're looking into him driving the township vehicles, acting in any matter that represents the township in any capacity without insurance. Ask him to sign an indemnification letter, anything. I'm sure the attorneys are looking into it, but I think as a township, we don't need to be liable for any of his actions. If he was going to try and purchase his own employee practice liability, the cost would be astronomical with his background and the lawsuits. It would personally bankrupt him. I hope that the council attorneys are looking into this and at the bylaws and to neutralize his authority on it. You are looking into that? Wonderful. And I hope that he's not driving any of our township vehicles, or he shouldn't even really even be signing anything after the first of the year representing us. I have to sign in. Thank you.
With regards to tax sales, why do we not keep them local for the tax sale?
I believe it's state law, and I think the reason they do them electronically is because it's cheaper that way. They've been doing it that way for quite a few years, and I think it was motivated because of the cost.
Cheaper, yes. But, you know, and no, it's not a state law. A lot of towns do it themselves. And Real Auctions only does, I think, 5 or 6 states. And again, it's because it's easier. Tax sales are really shady. They're really quite shady. When you go in there at 8 o'clock is when the auction's supposed to end. We signed in at 1:15. It's already done. It's all done with algorithms. It's all done by other foreign companies. So there's no auction going on. It's all said and done before 8 o'clock even hits.
So what you're saying is there's nobody with a vested interest
None.
purchasing any of the property?
Well, you know something, yes, I'm gonna take that back. If you look at this list of 1,900 people, I think there's like 4 or 5 that did pay a percentage, and when you look them up, it's because they're purchasing up a small little sliver of land that's next to them, so it'd be a homeowner or whatever, where nobody else would have an interest in it, whether it be a buildable lot or whatnot. But there's very few interests, but they do start at 18%, you bid downward, and then it goes up the other way, which seems a little sketchy to me. And I understand that's how Jersey City really got into a lot of problems also, because there was a lot of money laundering and money pushing through, and really did shut down Jersey City years ago.
I mean, I know when I first came to town, coming to a live auction here, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I don't know if it was a tax sale or just a property sale, but it was a sale going on for property. I don't recall all the details, but it was done first.
It may have been a sheriff's sale.
No, the sheriff's sales aren't held at this building, the actual land sales are, we do actually have land sales, they are conducted in this room, not the tax sale, the actual land sales.
I will say that Shayla was just very informative, and also real auctions out in Michigan, they could have been nicer in helping us navigate the website and finding out the information that we did. It's a little scary, it's really kind of scary.
You know, Ms. Skibberts, it's funny that you're saying this because, you know, I don't like to speak too much when you hear rumors, but I had heard that when the last warehouse was built, that a previous employee of this town, who again shall remain anonymous because again, rumors are
Sure.
rumors, that some new LLCs popped up under their name. And I'd be curious to see if any of these would have anything to do with them. A
You know,
lot
the
of
problem-
LLCs on here.
Well, the problem is that, I'm sure the attorneys can tell you this, last December, all LLCs under Fence-In were supposed to be registered with the state. You were gonna be fined. In fact, I think I sent you the paper and Dana the papers and whatnot to make sure you're registered. And there was a lawsuit from some LLCs out of Houston, Texas, and they got it overturned, which is a shame because that just tells you right there, what are you hiding? You know, I have nothing to hide on my LLC. Neither do you, or, you know, it's, the whole thing's real sketchy. And then when you look at some of these other companies, all these tax lien funds, when you look them up, they're not locally based. They're China, they're everywhere. When a house over on Circle Drive goes up for tax sale and the total taxes on it, I think it was, in water and sewer was like, I wanna say $8,000 or something, and they did a premium of $51,000. It kinda tells you something. So, okay, thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
And just on a side note, with the coming up auction we have going on, I don't know where we stand with that, but I understand one of the prime properties has a potential sale going on, and I don't know if that property should come off the list, so not mess up the potential sale. I understand that the county was filed as a possible, somebody's interested in buying. So I know council doesn't have the authority to pull the properties off at all. Just a suggestion, I can tell you which one it is afterwards if you want.
Marie Reynolds, Browns Mills, hi. Josh, I like your personality. I think we have a good blend. I like the quiet man, because I know you will when you have to. So don't take it personally. Yeah, I agree with Debbie about the tax sales. We've been mired in it, looking at the situation with the tax sales. And honestly, how it impacts me as a resident of Browns Mills, in my little development, 3 of my neighbors got their first homes through the tax sale years ago. The best neighbors you'd ever want to have, still have, but that's how they were able to buy their first home, was, you know, through a tax sale, waiting the 2-year period, paying the taxes and keeping them straight, and then foreclosing, and going through that entire process, but became wonderful homeowners and wonderful neighbors. So I really think we lose something when we outsource stuff to God knows who. In that vein, Sycamore Hall, and I know you're tired of hearing about it, and I won't stop. I won't stop. We're now incorporated as, with the state of New Jersey as Save Sycamore Hall, a nonprofit organization. Our mission is to, see that Sycamore Hall is developed according to redevelopment plans in the township, that it's preserved as much as possible, that we try to maintain its integrity no matter what happens to it. And in that vein, it is on the tax sale for next week's tax sale. It's listed for over $10,000 in back taxes. The last time taxes were paid on Sycamore Hall was in 2019, just before the township bought it. Now, the present owners have had it for 2 years. They didn't pay anything in 2024, and that's the only thing that will appear on that tax sale, because you can only go a year back, as I understand it. And please, jump in if I'm wrong, if my understanding is wrong on any of this, but, so what happens now? If someone pays the taxes over the $10,000, and if they pay a premium for it, whatever, however, they win it in the tax sale next week. So they have to, for the next couple of years, for the next year, they have to pay that $10,000, and they have to keep the taxes and any other bills with the township up to date for the following year, for 2025, which they've not paid a cent now for 2 years, mind you. So then they have to keep the taxes up. Then they can begin a foreclosure process. After the second year, they can begin foreclosure, is my understanding at any rate. So during that time, the current owners, they're off the hook now. They haven't done a thing there. They don't have to do a thing because their taxes are paid. Nobody's bugging them. They can do whatever they've been doing, which is nothing. So, so for 2 years, the building sits and degenerates as it has been. But in the meantime, when they go to foreclosure, this is what they have to pay. Before anybody could foreclose on it, they have to pay the $270,000 mortgage to Delaware Valley Sickle Cell Anemia. They have to pay another mortgage to Delaware Valley Sickle Cell Anemia for $480,000 that's outstanding. They have to pay a mortgage to First Platinum Capital Corporation in Boca Raton, which claims every piece of property in that building and on that property in exchange for an assignment of leases and rents that was signed. They have to pay $880,000 also to First Platinum Capital Corporation of Boca Raton, another mortgage filed with the Burlington County Board of Taxation. And last week I found a notice of settlement that was filed with the county, that they settled with, SNJ Property Management LLC out of Jersey City, New Jersey. There's nothing in the notice of settlement other than a statement that notice is hereby given of a contract agreement of sale between the parties herein. The land to be affected is commonly known as 1 Clubhouse Road. So this is a notice of settlement, which my understanding is that in some cases, for legal reasons, someone will post a notice of settlement in order to prevent additional liens being placed on the property. So but maybe it's legitimate. Maybe they did really settle in June. And if they did, then let them sell it. And maybe we can deal with the next person, because I would ask that you take it off. I mean, my request is that you would take it off the tax sale list if you could. Because otherwise, we're looking at another 2 years of nothing done. Absolutely nothing being done there. Thank you.
Marie, what you're saying is, according to my math, they've borrowed over $1.6 million on that property and haven't done a thing to it? Okay.
Good evening, council. you know how we like to roll, we like to jump right into the agenda. I have a question for 306, 2025. My question is, what will be the expected service life of this new vacuum truck that we are going to be possibly purchasing tonight? And will this be replacing a vacuum truck that we have on the fleet now? Or are we going to be adding to the fleet? 308, 2025, my question is, how much is the contract going to be? 309, 2025, my question is, what is the original amount and why do we need the increase? Did the original contract not foresee future costs and anticipate it? 312, 2025, my question is, what property is being disposed of for auction? And from 317 down to 323, I would say do a consent because these people have clearly not heeded the warnings. I'm sure they've received probably 2 or 3 warnings that they've needed to correct issues in the mail from the township. Seeing that their properties are on here now means that they have not heeded the warnings. So we have to follow through with the punishment, which is putting the lien on their property. 324, 2025, would we be able to discuss any of the details of the agreement if we are allowed to? New purchases, I said yes to every single one. They all are needs that we need to be able to meet for each of the departments. Public Works definitely needs their items here because these are very important to keep systems functioning. Said yes to the special use permit for the Boy Scouts of America Troop 22G for the winter wreaths. Number 12, my question is, how much is the bill list? And I want to also just say thank you to Amy and Sunshine for putting the bill list on the township website. They have 3 up so far, and you just click on the government tab and go over to minutes and ordinances. Just click that and you'll see bill lists on the township website. Something that we have been pushing for quite some time, and I'm glad to say that they are up on the township website for everyone here to be able to enjoy. And I have a few comments and questions of my own. The best part of the entire meeting for all of you. My question is, have the issues of the comp time, flex time been addressed or resolved by the Labor Council since our last meeting? I know you're now a secondary fill-in attorney, so I don't know if you would be able to have that answer on file. My second question is, what is the time frame to get a vote on a resolution to get on the 2026 ballot? A special question, if the public votes in favor of, to change this form of government. My third question is, what is the status of hiring a business administrator? My fourth question is, have the budget discussions begun as pursuant to the New Jersey Revised Statute Title 40-Municipalities and Counties, Section 40:69A-45. Little statement here, our Christmas tree lighting is on the 6th of December at 6 o'clock. Please show up a little early so you can get parking, because I'm sure it's going to be a packed event. Another question I have is, have any plans begun for America's 250th birthday? And are there any plans to have it in collaboration with the Water Carnival for a fun-filled day to celebrate our country and our town's deep rich cultural history? And I'm now understanding, because I saw on the Facebook for the recreation, we moved Mr. Brunson from the senior center to the Nesbitt Center. Would we be able to elaborate on administration side of how long did you guys come to the conclusion of needing to move the office at least 1 year to the date from last time we had to move from the municipal building to the senior center? And that's it. Everyone have a great and happy Thanksgiving. Don't talk about politics because you might get your crazy uncle. I'll throw some bread at you if you.
That was your hobby.
I do.
So just out of curiosity, if I may ask, Amy, you put the whole bill list is on the website already?
Well, there's only 3.
No, there is currently 3 up. We have to go through a period of
I understand,
stuff like that.
okay.
That needs to be redacted on the old ones, and that is being done.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
from here on out, the right ones are being constructed, so that information is already not.
Can Amy speak into the microphone? We can't hear.
Sorry, the bill lists are being worked on, and the ones moving forward will no longer be constructed in a way where we would have to do any redaction unless the council removes a bill from the bill list. We are going through the past ones for this year, and they will be redacted and hopefully up shortly. It's just a time-consuming process.
Bill list 7.3 million.
7.3, all right.
round it up.
Can I take some of the easy ones?
No.
Okay.
Well, actually, clarify, service life on the jetpack, that's 10 years?
15, they estimate, if you take care of it, it could last 20 years.
Go ahead, Harry, give me that.
So that's for that one. On, let's see, 308, Alex, you want to know what the total cost of that?
Yeah, how much the contract?
$3,574,000. For 309, the increase was due to increased use. We brought a couple wells back online that were out of service, so they needed additional chemicals to treat it as well. That's why the increase. The price is still the same per gallon, just we're using a little more. And they're easy ones.
The next one was 312. What property is being disposed of for auction?
Yeah, that's old used equipment, very old trucks, cars, some office furniture, stuff like that, you know. One fire truck, an old fire truck, yeah. It's all old equipment. I don't know if that's on, is that on the website yet, Jack? There's a list of pieces?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's on NJ.gov's website, because it's coming up, yeah, so go on and look at every piece.
324, are we able to talk about any of the details in the agreement, or is that off limits? Just some of the highlights.
Big paper.
Any notable highlights?
It's an acceptable agreement to the township.
It extends an existing agreement with some renegotiation.
Alright, and, have we, I don't know if you'd be able to get back to us on that, the comp time, flex time issue?
So I'd have to speak to the labor attorney, but I can get back to you on December 3rd.
Alright, thank you. And, do we know what the time frame is to get a vote on a resolution or ordinance to get on the next ballot for 26?
I don't wanna speak out of turn, but I believe Chris was gonna have something for us in the December meeting. So, we'll take it from there, once Chris gets it to us and we can start the motions and stuff. We're looking to start it in December sometime.
Alright, what about, the budget? Have the budget discussions begun?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Are they looking good, the numbers?
They're just,
Way too early.
Way too early. Alright, are any of you guys coming to the Christmas tree lighting?
Of course.
Oh, good. What about plans for our America's 250th birthday and the water carnival?
Jack, anything on that?
Coordinated with our historic commission, and they've been talking with the rec department, trying to get some things
Could
together.
you speak into the microphone? What?
I've coordinated with our historic commission, and they're coordinating with the rec department to work together. Our rec department is actually thinking about maybe a week-long type of thing, different events scattered throughout the week. But, it's still early, they're still planning on what they wanna do.
Alright, and, the Nesbitt Center, what came about, moving to McDonald?
We were leasing the property out to a county, early education thing, I believe it was.
The daycare?
Yeah, they canceled the lease because of lack of funding. So that building's been sitting empty, and if you know anything about buildings, you don't want them sitting empty for any amount of time. Our rec director went over, looked at the building, and really liked it, and thought it would fit his needs. At one time, I believe many years ago, our rec department was in that building before. So he asked if he could move in there and establish the rec department in that building, and I gave the approval.
Well, thank you. And, did you get all your Christmas decorations up? Oh, yeah. Don't worry, Mr. Ward, we'll help you. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mike, how are you?
I'm gonna start off with some financial questions and then go into your processes here, which could get you in some big trouble very soon with the government records council.
Yes, start over.
Alright, Mike Zaka, so I'm gonna start off with some financial questions, just to see if we're being diligent and actually not wasting our money. And then I'm gonna talk to you about, possible issues with our township and the way we keep records, and could be getting in big trouble with the Government Records Council and putting ourselves in line for lawsuits. So first, I'm gonna go back to 309/2025. How many gallons of sodium hypochlorite does $51,000 buy? Have we looked into direct purchasing instead of going through all these contracts? Because lots of these things can be purchased from chemical companies online, $50 delivery, delivered right to the water department. You can get 7,700 gallons for $51,000 from Alliance Chemical. Is that a good deal compared to what Maine Pool and Chemical Company Incorporated gives us? Where's the kickbacks on that? All right. Let's talk about in new business number 3, the Microsoft Office 365. 16 licenses for $57.92. Does that include services from Premier Technology Solutions for actually installing, updating, and everything else, or is it just the licenses? If it's just the licenses, CDW, the government uses them all over the country, purchasing direct. You could save $1,400 on that purchase. Why are we wasting our money? Who's getting the kickback from Premier Technology? Who's their friends? Is it the New York Premier Technology Solutions Incorporated or the Southampton, Pennsylvania Premier Technology Solution LLC? Which one is it? Next, I want to say, finally, we got the whole Wild water bill situation settled, so that's a good thing. But why did it take so long? We went from $100 a quarter to now they're paying $800 to $900 a quarter. How many years were they getting for $100 a quarter? Where is the incompetence in this township to allow that to happen for so long? Next, I've been putting in Oprah requests through the construction office, or to the construction office basically, for records for zoning, permits, everything else for some of these rental properties that people have taken, turned into duplexes with no records left. All they have is an electronic permit cover sheet. They can't find the records because they went to electronic. Where did all these records go? If you're gonna go electronic, you're supposed to scan them all. You're not allowed to destroy them without permission from the state. Where are those reports or those permission slips, or whatever you wanna call them, from the state to destroy them if you don't have them? Supposedly they've been boxed up and stored somewhere. That's a poor system for something that's not that old. I actually just asked for another over request for my own property for the pool and for the solar system I put in to see if you have the records or not. And that's only in the past 8 years or so. I'm interested to see how long that takes, because on this other request, I think we're on over 2 months now of me going back and forth. And it's supposed to be 7 to 10 days. Or 7 days, I think is the requirement. So if I'm having this trouble with just a couple of properties, how much of a mess is that office over there? Who decided to go electronic with these records and then screwed that up?
Mike, I'll follow up on some of these tomorrow.
Okay.
Nosotros, más al from the state of New Jersey. Greetings, thank you for taking my hand. Appreciate it for the warm work. I like to see that. Full question is, resolution of 305 and 309, I'd like to give me, a slight explanation of the two resolutions. And two other comments I like. What is the future status of the Pemberton County Roman College? I'd like to know if any information on that property. And any update on the whole Acme, any, what's going on? And I think that, oh yeah, the Christmas light, it's gonna be in this township or where?
At Fletcher's Park, December sixth, 6 p.m.
Park?
Fletcher's Park.
Okay, yeah, that's all my full question.
So the old Acme?
Yeah, the whole Acme.
You just got the keys back recently from the last tenant, right? So the last tenant turned the keys in. So now once, correct me if I'm wrong, now all the utilities get turned off and they get scheduled demolition, right?
Sort of.
Okay.
So, I actually just sent an email to our Public Works Department, about an hour ago, asking them to coordinate utility shut off, that'd be water, any gas, electric, all that stuff, that needs to be turned off before they can start any kind of demo. I talked to our attorney just a couple of minutes ago, wanting to know what we're gonna need to do to get the developer in here, and start the process of selling that property. As most people are aware, we're selling that property for $2.7 million and we're paying, interest on that loan every day. So the quicker we can get that money and put it against that debt, the less interest we're paying later on, which is a good thing for the taxpayer. So it's gonna be a couple more weeks, and I think there's also, Council President, I think there's an amendment 6 that we're working on for that redeveloper. It's the, landscape, or the streetscaping, and something else on that. We're gonna need to get that on the next agenda, probably ASAP, so that we can get that done, and once that's approved, then I'm thinking the developer will come to the table and sign the paperwork to sell the property to them, get it done. Their goal is to take ownership of this property like yesterday. Does that answer your question, sir?
Yes, thank you.
That, next amendment, I think we're waiting on some paperwork from the Pinelands on that, if I'm not mistaken. 'Cause some of that was streetscaping, they said the Pinelands required certain things.
They'd already given it to us, it was provided to us for the planning board.
Okay.
There was some questions about pervious, impervious landscaping
Right,
with
right,
the
yeah.
crushed rock or whatever.
Yeah.
Our planner wanted, drought resistant grass put in there, but the Pinelands mandated that we put stone in, which was kinda unique, I thought, but we do have a letter from the Pinelands.
Okay, we
Part
do
of
have
it,
that letter now, I
yes.
thought we were still waiting on that.
No, that letter came when it was before the planning, when the applicant was before the planning board.
Okay.
So that was, we had that during the review.
Okay, no problem. I can take care of 305 and 309. Louis, on resolution 305, you want to know what that was? That was a grant that we had gotten back in 2022 and fell through the cracks and we almost lost it. We had to redo some paperwork and we're just reaffirming that we got that money for that grant that's going to be used for new lighting and fixing up down, changing some of the landscape down there. And 309, not sure what you wanted to know about that. Was an original contract for the chemicals for treating the wells. Exceeded the amount that we were using. This is what they wanted, an extension to be able to buy more quantity. And the original contract, there were 3 bids made for that, but, I don't know all the details without going back and looking at it. Okay? And the old college, at the last county meeting, which you were there,
Yeah.
they issued, bids out to, tear down the library building. So they're waiting on bids to come back from that. That's what I know about the township.
I think it is, just, since the last meeting, I upgraded my phone for a 4K streaming and 4K video recording at the same time. Look, see, perfect quality right here. And I wanna, how, if I could ask, how is one of our residents, how he is doing? I don't see her here, is Mrs. Phillip. Oh, okay, oh, here. I don't see her at the pre-order, the commission meeting, and taking me, having me as a guest.
Pat Guthrie, 317 Birmingham Road. I have a lot of really important notes and questions that I had for the council, but I'd like to address one thing that I find overrides any importance of everything that I have on here, and that's in reference to Mr. Ward. The amount that you have taught me and how much I've learned, I really didn't come to council meetings prior to you and Danny becoming part of the council. The education, the time spent, I mean, we spent hours together looking through books and reading, and everything that I learned, I have you to thank for. When I come up here, I'm not talking emotions, feelings. I'm able to go to a book, open it up, and state facts on why things should and shouldn't be done. And I have Mr. Ward to thank for that. You're an amazing man, you're a wonderful council member, and I don't know anyone that I respect more. Honestly, it's an honor for you to serve as a councilman for the township. And I'd like you to be aware of that, and thank you so much. And that I needed to say before I went into any of the other matters. Here, here. I went to the zoning board meeting on the 13th, and they talked about the property at 530 Lakehurst, block 855. And it was advertised on the township website, but it was advertised as block 588. So if anyone was like me, when I look at the agenda, I look at all the lots and see where it's located. And I like to view everything so that if there's something that's in question, I know exactly which property it's being referred to on the website. And this was just totally misadvertised. I was able to look it up by the street. When I went to the meeting and they showed me what they plan on doing as far as splitting a commercial business from a residential home and doing a line, a property line to be able to split the two properties, it kept on being referred to as commercial property. So I would like to know, when you go to the township website, is this supposed to be like our tax bill? Is it written in stone? Is it supposedly actual fact? That when you look at the tax bill, because it kept on being referred to as a commercial property, it actually has it listed as residential property. And there's a daycare on it. And when you look at the tax rates, it's being taxed residential when it's got commercial on the property. When you look at the utility bill, because it's two separate units, you have one solid waste bill, so they only get billed for one for solid waste where it's shared. There are two water bills, but then there's one sewage bill. So some of this stuff doesn't make sense. And I'm just wondering, because this is what I go by to pay my taxes when I pull up my tax bill, how accurate is this? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And to be splitting the property with a bunch of shared services, I honestly believe, I mean, it was approved with conditions, that some of this stuff, before it even gets considered to go into an application for zoning or anything to be done with it, should be straightened out on our website to what type of property it actually is. Because everything I look on here is a mess, having to do with that block, 855. So, that being said, I just kind of would like the council to look at that. And, you know, they have maps and stuff from the zoning on what they plan to do with the property. I'm wondering if the fire marshal even looked at it to see if, you know, things are being done per code. Because it just seems like a big old mess, like it shouldn't even been going in front of the zoning board until all the little details should have been straightened out with it first. The next issue, I just want to follow with what Marie was talking about, and, not Marie, I'm just drawing a blank, Deb. As far as these properties being bought up by LLC, they just had something on the Will Kane show. You could just give me a couple more minutes. Where these properties are being bought up around military bases. And they just found there was one of the bases, and my husband is the name of it, I'm not that military person, but it was a base that has the B-2 bombers. And they just discovered that at the end of the runway, there was a trailer park that had all kinds of LLCs. And it turned out it was China, at the end of our B-2 bomber runway, that was buying up all this property around the bases. So being that we have McGuire Air Force Base and Fort Dix there, maybe we should take a hard look at some of these companies wanting to buy our properties, because we surround the base, and we're, like, it's a security issue that I think we should make ourselves aware of. But my time is up. I guess I don't have time to talk about this stuff, but under new business number 3, or which one was it, with the 365 Microsoft Office, there's a program called Libra that you can get online, and it's absolutely free. It's literally a free Microsoft Office program that doesn't cost a dime. So I don't understand why we are forking out all this money for Microsoft Office 365.
Because it's your home, not a business. You never use it.
I use it in a business. So I use it in a business. So, I mean, just some of this stuff, some of these expenses, I think we should look twice at.
So, we'll go back to the LLCs that are purchasing all these properties. So Danny and I met with the base commander over the summer, I think. And, we made him aware of some of the LLCs in the foreign countries that are buying these properties, like that one house, called the solar panels. He wasn't aware. It was a new base commander. So he said he was gonna look into it, but he hasn't got back to us yet with a follow-up. So we can't like restrict.
I mean, they are looking on passing something, being that it was on the news, about these foreign countries coming in and buying up the properties here in the United States. I believe they're gonna put a stop to it. Because, it's actually causing the housing market to go up where people can't afford, Americans can't afford homes, because these homes are being bought up by LLCs, and it's like it's trying to destroy our
But to
economy.
your point, the security risk.
So, and that's the biggest part, the security issues being that we are right near McGuire Air Force Base.
Pat, can I answer some of your, or discuss some of your questions you brought up in regards to that? Because I did sit in on a webinar last year about this topic twice. In regards to, granted, it was under the Obama administration, but the folks that were talking about this, there's a federal list of businesses that are on a watch list. I'll find it for you in my emails, and I'll email it to you tomorrow. The issue becomes that the local municipal governments, under municipal land use law, don't have access to those lists unless they request them. So there has to be some communication up the chain in order to request those lists. Once you have those lists, yes, you can restrict them. But you'd have to put in an ordinance in the township, the individual townships, because as you know, home law dictates that the municipality has the sole restriction possibilities to stop people from coming in like that, those LLCs. So we could pass an ordinance, it is legal in the state of New Jersey. You can pass an ordinance and say, hey, we don't want anything to do with these A, B, C, D, E, F people, as long as you have that list from the federal government. But I'll find that email, I'll forward it over to you tomorrow.
Thank
Okay,
you.
you're welcome.
And Jack, do you have any, like, as far as the property taxes and the utilities that are on the website, are they being looked at to make sure everybody is being billed properly and they're like, you know, everything's zoned properly?
We recently did the sewer thing. I mean, we sent out bills where some of the EDUs were incorrect for some of the businesses. So we have been looking at it, and it's a continual thing. You mentioned the zoning thing. I have nothing to do with zoning board or their process. So what you just talked about was kind of news to me. I'm thinking that's a property right next to the old Hornet's Nest. Is that correct?
No, it's down by the old Star Deli. It's that daycare center down
Is
there.
that a daycare center with a business in the back behind there?
The house is in the back, the daycare center's in the front. Yeah, I was at that planning board meeting and I had some of the same questions Pat had, but. I had to go
That would have been
down
zoning
next
board, not
month.
planning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Was he at their address, Pat, you know?
Yep, I have the paper right here.
I think 580 happens, what's this, 588?
The actual
Address
property
530.
is 530 Lakers Road, and it's block 855, lot 4.
The big thing that was overlooked was one sewer though, right?
Well, apparently they have a shared, tell me if I'm reading this right, maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think they're allowed to share.
It has one solid waste, 2 water bills, and 1 sewage bill for the single property, and apparently they're also in arrears. And they're trying to split the 2 properties.
I'll
Maybe
check
that's
into
why
it.
they're in arrears?
I don't know. I'll check into it.
Thank you very much for your time and your answers. And thank you, Mr. Ward, or Councilman Ward.
Good evening, everybody in general. I'm going to start for one of our council. Councilor John Ward, please do not resign, whoever the state. Residents put you in that position, and that for you to represent the residents. Ignore what is behind you. We appreciate what you've done for our town. And I know that you've been stepping out of your way to do your best for us. You're looking for our residents. And have a nice holidays. Okay, I have a note for one of my residents from Presidential Lake. He's sick right now, he's not able to attend here. He stated to me if I can do him a favor. He wanna know, what is the rule about the golf carts? And the reason he asking me, telling me this, because golf carts are day and night, all racing around at nighttime with no lights. What is the procedure? They had to have some kind of permit or license or whatever. The next thing it is, where he live, his next door neighbor has a camera on his property facing this man property, that's illegal, I know for the fact. You don't put a camera in your property, facing my property. For this neighbor there is watching him every move he makes. Even he put a high fence. Why? Because yes, he has dogs there, and the neighbor complained about it. Well, he did the best he could. And what he did? He got a camera. He put a camera face in his yard. That's illegal, I know for the fact. Those two things he stated to me to bring it up to the council and hoping they can just do something. I don't use the names. Okay, I'm going to piggyback in Patty's statement, what she make it when she make it the zoning board meeting. My question is going to be, the township has the blame. This has happened 25 years ago. How in the world you can have a child here in front of you, a commercial, and you got your house in the back, when you have all your taxes? Somebody got to look into whoever approved that and okay that problem. They got a big problem, I'm sorry. Now the poor guy is fighting, it is true. He's fighting that right now. But now the garbage, I pay my garbage. Now this guy pay only one garbage. I don't know about the water, I don't know about the sewage, but it's not fair. It's either way, whoever, I know there is paper in this building when they approve that to the man. And for that, we are hanging ourselves. I hope that in the future, they take it out consideration that. And about the water bills and everything, it is true, they have to just look into, when somebody has a commercial, they gotta even come to this place and apply for a permit for a commercial business. That means that when the township should be step up. But no, they were hungry, they got the money. Go get it. If I'm looking for a house, do you think I'm going to be looking for a house when I have a commercial bin in front of my house and I got to share the same driveway? No, thank you. Bye. Okay, now I'm going to leave it that way. About the Sycamore Hall, please take it off the tax sale. Please. In reference to the Burlington County College, yes, Victor, I haven't attended the meeting because I got to attend another meeting. I'm sorry, I haven't seen you. And for the insurance company, I hear the rumor what is going to happen in here, and you got to give me the few more minutes, okay? And I'm going to speak to the insurance company right now, okay? I wasn't a bit taxi several years ago too. And I know what the insurance company did to me. Well, it was not even my fault. They prosecuted me twice. I've been better off in debt than they have been prosecuted twice. Okay. Now, I stayed in the last meeting. The sooner later, Paul is going to run out of the money, cannot supply Peter. And this, we are right to the point now. What are we going to do about it? Okay, now, what happened with the VA? We just slide the whole year around with our VA. We need a VA. Please, push it for have a VA. We blow the money in lawsuits, but we can afford a VA, we really got a problem. Okay, let me ask. I've been noticing the house isn't one of the agenda in there. I know I reported that house, and I know that house I didn't see ported up. I know all the name, the street in this town because I used to be a paper lady. Guess what? You ask me for the name of the street, I can tell you what the stupid street is. Okay, now, I know that my bell probably rang already. I wanna just be sure that anybody being asked, yeah, they're going to interrupt the Burlington County College Day, that is coming up. Across the street, in those, in that property there, that we building a forest in there. We pushed the Burlington County College to cover loan, but we didn't do nothing to the people across the street. It's a forest, we don't need a forest here. We got plenty of forest on the other side. Okay, and for me, I know the Amway, yes, I sing a song, but guess what? I be here every 2 weeks, and I will fight for my residents. And Mr. Ward, stay good, and good luck. Good luck, everybody, and have a nice Thanksgiving. Don't pay attention to the rumors.
I came tonight, I'm Vicki Adams, 613 Sander Drive. I came tonight, actually pretty calm. I was furious last week, and I have spoken to a couple of you, and you know why, and I'm gonna still let the public know why I'm furious, but I'm even more furious that someone would ask Josh Ward, a gentleman who has did nothing but the best that he can, to tell him that he doesn't have the best interest of this town in his heart? Excuse my language, but bullshit. I'm saying it like it is, and whoever one of you it was, shame on you. You're the one that doesn't have the township in your heart. Bottom line, that man over there has sacrificed. He has put his family through hell with some of the situations that have happened up here. I'm sorry, but I would have quit a long time ago. But he has stood his ground, and he has served. And shame on whoever did this. Okay, now go back to my original tirade, because now I'm just as much upset about it as I was on last week, okay? Matt, you misspoke. You and the rest of us, all of you, never corrected him for his misstatement. I called it a lie, but I was told that that was too forward, okay? You said that the 2 lawsuits that were settled had nothing to do with the mayor, that they were old. Bull. I knew immediately you were lying because I personally posted those 2 lawsuits.
Please don't call me a liar. I don't appreciate that.
Well, I'm sorry, but it was a wrong statement,
It was not.
okay?
But go ahead.
Because I knew personally that those 2 lawsuits were on my social media pages when they first happened. And they were about the mayor.
They weren't against the mayor.
They were against our township because of the mayor's
My
actions.
words were they were not against the mayor.
I have your words on my phone. I can pull it up. Because I copied it off the last meeting. Okay? My question now is, what else is everybody up here not telling us the truth about? Okay? If you're not gonna stand up for a misstatement, what else are you hiding? Okay? Many of us have asked what's happening with the repayments of the funds given to Michelle Brown for her paid vacation. All we hear from you is, the mayor said he's not gonna pay it back and referred to this other person. I do not understand why you guys are not bringing charges against him and the other 2 people involved in the chain of misappropriated funds. I am outraged that nothing has been done. We have focused on the mayor repaying, however, the CFO and the HR employee are just as much to blame. Michelle Brown requested the money knowing it was not hers to use. The mayor said go ahead, but the CFO, the one who issued the money, knew it was ill-gotten gains. I did a little bit of research. I found the code, New Jersey Code of Criminal Justice, section 2C 30-2, official misconduct. This is just an overview. The public servant committing an unauthorized act in an official capacity or knowingly refraining from duty with the intent to benefit themselves or another or to cause injury. This is a second-degree crime. Okay, let's just break that down a little bit. Definition of official misconduct. 1, committing an unauthorized act.
A public servant does something in their official capacity that they know is unauthorized or is done in an unauthorized way. Well, you know what? You ask what's been done? That's easy. A misappropriation funds. $4,000 unlawfully paid and non-earned time off given to Michelle Brown. You have spoken, you have the evidence of falsified documents that covered it up. Why haven't you guys brought charges against him? They are all officials in Pemberton Township. They are all on the administrative staff. They're all officials. That is your guys' job to protect our town. I'm furious. Okay, sorry guys, I'm furious. The next part of this is refraining from a duty. A public servant knowingly fails to perform a duty that is required by law or is inherent to their job. Okay, well, what did he refrain from doing? The mayor has time and time again refused to hire a BA from the many applications that have been turned in. And tonight, you guys didn't even answer Alex's question when he asked what's going on with the BA hiring situation. Okay, he already broke 2 parts of this misconduct. Do you know what the penalties are for official misconduct? Official misconduct is a secondary crime in New Jersey. Conviction can lead up to 10 years in prison. That means for any one of those 3, they could end up 10 years in prison. Now, you're not Mr. Connors, and I don't know your name, but I was going to direct this to the lawyer. You can give me a few extra minutes like you gave everybody else.
Mr. Macklin.
Okay, you're the lawyer. The facts have been proven by receipt and falsification of records. I hope that you will file charges against these people. My concerns are that you as a council have allowed the mayor's behavior to continue and do not hold him accountable. Gentlemen, you are now being held accountable. Just like someone who is arrested for something he declares he didn't know was against the law. Well, now you know. I just gave you the criminal statute. So now I'm holding you accountable. I am stating, and I'm sure others would agree with me, you need to do your job. Hopefully the next council meeting, you can regain some of my trust. Because right now, I'm furious. Okay? I'm not gonna bring up my other thing. I'm just done.
Just real quick, the council and I have no power in bringing criminal charges. That would all go through Burlington County.
Okay, well,
You should-
like I said
Vicky.
to a couple of the other councilmen, then you guys should all be unanimously standing at that door, knocking it down, getting on Facebook, getting on the thing, and making that person, which I think, I don't even know the title of him, to take and do his job. Okay? Because apparently, he's not doing his job just like the mayor's not doing his job. Okay? Even at the state level, you should be knocking down their doors.
Vicky, with the frustration that you just showed, I can appreciate it. The same frustration goes across this entire council. Everything you just talked about has been turned over to the prosecutor's office. Everything you just talked about has gone to the attorney general's office. Yet here we are, no charges.
Well,
Everything you just spoke of. I'm quite certain that they are very well versed on the criminal statute you just provided to the public, and that's great, and I do appreciate that. Yet we are being told it does not apply.
and again, I would tell them the same thing I said to you guys, it's bullshit. It does apply. He is an official. They misappropriated the funds. I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna challenge our township to start calling these people, who is it, Attorney General and the prosecutor's office, and start to take it and bombard them with phone calls to get their job done. Because this is ridiculous, guys, that this is all happening. We have to go another whole year. Let's see, he's had an average of 3 lawsuits a year, so we have another 3 lawsuits coming up. Think about it. We're ready to lose just because of it. Come on. And I apologize.
You're not starting the timer yet, are you? We usually wait till I sign the book. Are you gonna?
I don't press the button, that's not my
Who's
job.
timing?
I haven't started the timer yet this morning.
Thank you. Mrs. Foreman, Michelle Foreman, or Mrs. Foreman, but I'm not Miss Foreman. Just FYI. I have a reason for that. You know what I mean? Okay. I'm kind of thrown off because, I'm, not feeling too good after hearing what happened with Josh, and, I appreciate your honesty, Mr. Ward. And, I agree with all the sentiments from everybody in the room tonight, right? I feel like I don't know if I should mind my own business and shut up, or what should I do about this? You know what I mean? I have a feeling who it was, right when you said it, but, you know, do I mind my own business, or do I say Josh Ford is my business? Apparently, he's everybody's business, because everybody has something to say. Please don't resign. You know, I have to be honest with you. A lot of us, we all love you. A lot of us. And we appreciate you being here. And you go the extra mile. The extra classes. The extra meetings. The extra town halls. Thank you for that. Thank you for caring about us. You have to work so hard at that restaurant, and you still come here. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how I do it. And I'm not working full-time, I'm working very part-time.
I have two full-time jobs.
I believe it. And a family and grandchildren, right? 2 or 1? Grand?
One on the way.
Okay. So that means that'll make 2, right? Oh, gotcha. Okay, so my time's ticking away. I'm a little upset because I feel like everything's like, not this again. Here we go again. First they said I couldn't have the videos for the meetings, I have hard copies, and then they said I could have the video after it was in the paper that they were, I got a recording of me having a video, even though they said I couldn't have videos. That was accidentally given to me by Donna. The mayor said he knew they were videoing, but somebody else said they didn't know. This was an accident, no, it was accidentally given to me. I want a copy, a hard copy of the videos as well as the audio. I am not getting it, and I just feel like I'm back to square one. I'm going, first I can have them, then I can't, then I can, now I can't. And I don't want the dumbed down version. I have a lot of good reasons why I want the hard copies of these CDs for the meetings. I want somebody to look into that, but I only have 5 minutes, so I gotta hurry up to the next topic, but.
You're talking about the video of the council.
Right.
You want him on a CD.
Right, and planning and zoning, not audio only, I want video and audio. But apparently it's too much trouble to get that for me. I'm like, here we go again, deja vu, back to no video. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing I want to say real quick is, who wrote this ordinance? Who brought this back? Who brought this back? Ordinance 30, 2025. We were happy that this got voted down. Thanks to, I believe, Dan Dewey and Josh Ward not voting for this the last time.
Which one are you talking about, Michelle?
Ordinance 30, 2025. Who brought this back? You don't have to answer yet, because I only have 5 minutes. You can answer when I'm done talking, because I'm holding it to somebody. Okay, and then also, whoever's writing these, please, give us more information. Capital improvements, I'm sorry, that's not telling me anything. I know you guys have the books and the pamphlets and everything, we gotta wait till the next meeting, or wait, maybe tomorrow, since it's been introduced, I don't know, when we can get a copy of these ordinances to find what's going on. But I wanna know, that's deja vu too. We didn't like it when things got voted down and brought back. Warnacle did that one night for 4 different topics. We didn't like that. Now they're doing it again. They're bringing it back to vote on, even though it was voted down. Okay, the other thing is, just real quick, I'm gonna talk fast, sorry, but I do. Thank you. We have this resolution 325, 2025, about, they're trying to tell us this is a revitalization of Blueberry Manor Park drainage improvement. Trust me, this has to do with the new Lisbon development, just like Greenberg, and they're trying to say they're gonna fix the water for the high school after all, we need, but really, they wanna fix the water for Greenberg development. And this is the same thing here. You know, what, and as far as this one goes, where is Pemberton Heights? That's another question, but back to my stuff here, okay? I just wanna wrap this up by saying, my son has chickens, they're crazy, they're so awesome. But they have each other's backs all the time. When they're perched on the thing, they're always looking back, like, one goes this way, one goes that way, one sits this way, one sits, they're watching each other's backs at all time. And who decides where to develop? We're not doing Colbridge, thank God, okay? There are other things that have been voted down, thank God, but who's to say, oh, let's have development here, where they don't want it either? Well, who gets to choose? Anyway, I think that's about it. I'm gonna wrap it up by saying, we've gotta have each other's back. We can't just fight for one development because it's big or because, you know, they have a lawyer or anything. We have to fight for the rights of everybody who doesn't want development in their backyard. And, it seems to me there's a lot of stuff on this ordinance tonight. To me, again, it's deja vu all over again. Too much, too soon, too fast. That's all I got to say. Thank you for showing up all the time.
Council President, may I address 2 items that Ms. Foreman talked about?
Oh, Mrs. Foreman, sorry.
I'm sorry, forgive me, Michelle. Is that okay too?
Oh, you can call me Michelle. I'd be happy for that. Just not
So,
Miss.
Blueberry Manor Park is over off of Scanlon.
Right.
It's in T&M. So it's
Right.
all the way across the other end of the town. They had old, rusty, nasty, dangerous, playground equipment in there a few years ago that we deemed unsafe, so they removed it. So I don't believe there might be a park bench out there right now, and that's about it. We did get a grant to redo that. With state stormwater management, anytime you go in and put a park in or something like that, you have to do the stormwater management as well. So that's why stormwater management is on this, to do the park. So it has nothing to do with over here on the west end. It has everything to do with T&M.
Is that gonna benefit the new development on Junction Road at all?
The
think
new
it will.
development on Junction Road, yeah, it probably will. If there's
Yeah.
kids in there, they'll go there.
So what I said was true.
Well,
I
yeah,
thought
but
you said-
what the mayor's saying is it's just for the park, it's engineering for the park, because it's been so long since it was taken out of there, they have to do re-engineering and stuff.
But it's
make
gonna
sure-
benefit the new development at Junction Road as well.
No, it's gonna benefit the children from Blueberry Manor too, I mean.
Blueberry Manor
It
possibly.
was their park altogether, you know.
Yeah, possibly Bel Air Trailer Park, kids will go over there and play on them too.
Well, I
mean, the
still,
whole area.
okay, thank you. I listened to what you said, but I still think it's the guys that they're trying to fix the water for the new development. in
No, it's not
Junction
the
Road.
water, it's the park.
There's no water, Michelle, it's literally just the drainage.
Right,
That's the
I
water as it
understand,
falls
but
from the
they
sky.
need- They need that drainage at the new development, because they're cutting down all those trees, they're gonna need it, so it's gonna benefit them, one way or the other, that's the way I feel.
But anyhow, the other one that I wanted to address,
Okay.
it's kind of funny you ask a question because
Okay.
it's a pet peeve of mine.
Uh-huh,
You asked Pemberton Heights.
yeah, where is that?
There's 2 Pemberton Heights.
Yeah.
Which is
America
really
said it
strange.
was where I live.
Huh?
America said one week it was where I live.
No, there's a Pemberton Heights actually where I live.
Oh,
Over by Emmons Elementary School, there's an area there called Pemberton Heights.
oh, okay.
And Josh, you're probably well aware of it.
Yeah, that's one of the questions I have for tonight was some of the wording. And I don't want to step on you, but I'll follow you.
But, I mean, I got on Google Maps one time years ago and saw Pemberton Heights and I was like, oh, wow, that's cool. And I asked some of my old time neighbors that have been there for, decades.
Mhm.
And they said, yeah, we've been known as Pemberton Heights for forever.
Okay.
And then I started seeing what I call Johnson Court. Over across from the VFW. The borough and a couple other folks seem to call that Pemberton Heights.
Oh,
And Chief Augustoni, the fire chief, and I were actually in my office talking about
I mean, across the Legion, right?
yeah.
the American, did I say VFW?
Yeah.
Too many organizations,
Yeah.
but it's over on that other end of town, and the reason they call it Johnson Court is that's the big loop circle there that encompasses the whole area. So a lot of people refer to it, myself anyway, call it Johnson Court. and then where I live is Pemberton Heights. For some reason, now we have two Pemberton Heights. Heaven forbid I ever have to call an ambulance and they show up at Johnson Court.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very confusing, but if you look, at Google Maps and some other things, over by Emmons Elementary School is Pemberton Heights.
Interesting.
The other one, I think, I don't know how it got that name, but I prefer it to go back to Johnson Court.
Well, the issue becomes that they argued that in the borough, because there was a road named Johnson's Court that conflicted with the geographical designation of Johnson's Court. And there was a whole argument between borough council on this recently.
Oh, really?
I don't know why there's such a big uproar, not just calling it Johnson's Court. I mean, we're in Ronto Village. That's what I know it as. But, you know, now it's changed to Pemberton Heights, or it's always been Pemberton Heights, and then they built Ronto Village, and, you know, the signs say Ronto Village, the signs say Lake Valley. It's very interesting. I'd rather some of the wording in the resolution this evening say something besides Pemberton Heights and identify it by either a latitude and longitude, if there's a discrepancy, as opposed to Pemberton Heights, because that scares me.
The thing I have, Josh, is both locations belong to the township.
Yeah,
So
and
we
yeah.
shouldn't let the borough dictate what is township.
Absolutely correct, Jack. I mean, you know, look, you got a true donut hole in Pemberton Borough, right? It's one of only 3 in the entire state of New Jersey, I believe, that are left. And that, for that donut hole, it's very confusing, because if you have Pemberton Heights, which I'll reference where me and Jack live, then you go into Birmingham, which then connects back to a new Pemberton Heights. Doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah.
So it's very confusing. And then again, it scares me for several different reasons.
Well, you just said too.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Ward, thank you, Mayor Jack Tompkins. My other question was, whose brilliant idea was to bring this back to the council tonight, to the ordinance tonight?
So that
Who made
ordinance,
that idea up?
that ordinance has been redone, so it's been rewritten.
But whose idea was it to bring it back?
It was a majority of the council.
Majority? What does that mean? 3 or more of you? 4 or 3?
So,
I wanna know, just wanna know who keeps bringing this back.
Well, I mean, it's for work being done in the township, so we have to address it eventually, one way or the other.
so.
Okay, but it's to benefit
Council-
Greenberg.
Council President, if I
So don't
can
try to
add.
pretend it's not.
Yeah.
Michelle, Council President's right, there's council members that are aware of what we're trying to accomplish here with this bond ordinance. It's many or multiple projects. So our water department has been talking to the supervisor of public works. They've been talking to me, we've been talking internally, and then conveying our concerns to some of the council members. And they're starting to see, is that wrong? Our viewpoint and our concerns. So that's why this ordinance keeps coming back up, because there are some things on here that are critical that we're gonna need for our water department to operate.
So Michelle, so we can't get the ordinance out before it's signed, because it's subject to change up until it's signed. Or, introduced. So we removed, let's say we removed the West Side project, that's out, that's not in there anymore.
What's West Side?
The one that Councilman Ward was against?
That's
Greenberg?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, not to do Greenberg?
So we removed that.
Since we're talking about the ordinance, I'm not just against because it said west side, but I'll discuss it properly when the ordinance comes up.
Okay, so did it have anything to do with a solicitor that gave you these ideas, or you guys just came up with ideas yourself?
We met, myself.
Did you meet with this solicitor?
Myself and Mr. Harper met with the Public Works.
Public Works.
And we prioritized what they needed in that ordinance, and we removed what was not a priority.
Okay, well, just to let you know, Mr. Hornicle said that this project was gonna be used by, No, somebody said taxpayers. No, it's the water people who pay the water bill. That's where we're gonna get the money for this. It's on one of the tapes that I'm on. And so now, now it's gonna come down on taxpayers to do this. But anyway, I think you answered all my questions. Who wrote this ordinance? Who got this ordinance? Who got this agenda together tonight? Put all this stuff on it that didn't give us enough information on some of this stuff. Who did this?
Ms.
Who
Foreman.
does it? Is it you? Is it?
Ms.
the
Foreman,
solicitor,
I
a
am
bunch
the
of
one that
people?
takes up the agenda based on the items given to me to put on.
Given to you by who?
It's-
Just wanna know.
Some comes from administration, some comes from council, some comes from other departments.
Solicitors?
From the solicitor, but they're acting on direction from either the council or administration.
Okay, thank you.
If you wanna know specifically regarding the water ordinance, that was rewritten, actually, by myself and the CFO. We took out the items that council requested to have taken out, redid the numbers, and put it back on. We didn't have the solicitor do that, because it wasn't necessary to pay them to do that.
So I can get a copy of the old and the new?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay,
Absolutely.
okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Good evening, Council. Patrick Iverson, 59 West Hampton Street. I guess we'll start right from the beginning here. Authorizing the purchase for the jetback truck. How much storm sewer do we have to take care of in this township that aren't county roads that the county should be responsible for one? What's the matter with the old truck? You can't have that many miles on it. Isn't it easier just to put a new vac on it? Because if they treat this one any different than they treated the old one, as I watched it go down South Pemberton Road with the hose dragging behind it going to the sewer plant, it probably ain't gonna last a whole hell of a lot longer. Yeah, same as the street sweeper that we had to have for $300 and some thousand that I get to see going down Birmingham Road where there is no curb. It don't make a whole hell of a lot of sense to me. I think the grass and everything takes care of that. All right, moving on down. On the liens against people for having property maintenance code issues, I don't know what that code is, but it's funny that once again, hey, if they're not in compliance, I get it. But we're going after residents here in the township. But yet I go down North Pemberton Road and Arnie's Mountain Road and I see what was deemed a blight. It looks a hell of a lot more like a blight now than it ever did when I was farming it. Are we going against Hubnanian for a lien? Because you sure as hell ought to. Same as with taxes. Have they been set back on farmland assessment yet? We keep spending money here, but I don't know where we're getting the stuff that we should be getting it from. Same as the water, the sewer, and everything else. You know, like I said before, this administration couldn't run a damn lemonade stand. On to the water. Now, I looked up the tax map. On here, it's 786.01 lots 12 and 22, 787 lot 1. Now, according to this, 786.01 lot 13, which was 326/2025, encompasses pretty much the whole farm up to Lupinetti's. The other lot is out front, where the light is, the two water holes. 787 is the creek, basically, the woods, all right? Lot 12, according to the tax maps, if they're correct, is the easement for the airport, is the airport. I didn't know that they bought the airport. So I think we need to look into that too and see where that goes. That's according to the township's tax map. Now, on lot 22, like you said, that's the one out front.
You have lot 12?
Lot 12?
Lot 12, yeah, 786.01 lot 12, man. Now, on the other one, going to 786.01 lot 13, We have a well there. That's what this is for this resolution. Now, how did the township put a well on private property and now is relinquishing the rights to that well the taxpayers paid for? That seems to be a pretty big question. So once again, like I said, we can go after code enforcement for the people in this town, but we'll bend over and grab our ankles for Hovnanian. We're gonna give them that well, because that's where they need to put their retention basin. It's right in the corner there. So first off, who authorized the well, which I know wasn't this administration, it was the prior one, to go on that property? There has to be some agreement there between Mr. Greenberg and the township at that point. And now the township is relinquishing the rights to that well? Seems a little fishy to me. Somebody profited from it, and it sure as hell wasn't the taxpayers of this town. You know, this agreement with Greenberg Farm with Hovnanian has got more holes in it than a slice of Swiss cheese. This is a joke.
You're here.
So if anybody can answer the $1 million question on that well, I'd love to hear it.
Pat, I was involved with the meeting with the wells in Albania is reimbursing us the money that I don't think we got all of it, but we got most of the money that we put out for the wells. They're paying for it.
It was about 80K from what I understood.
I don't know exactly what we got.
I don't remember the exact amount either.
Aren't they contributing the $500,000 to the standpipe, and that was one of the things that we used at Packer?
Yeah, but there was a set amount just for
Right,
the
there was
well.
there was a
I don't
bunch of different
remember.
things.
So they are paying for it.
All right, well, once again, how did this agreement ever go through to start with when now this resolution is coming up? So we're amending stuff constantly with this. This agreement should be null and void to start with, as many amendments it's got. Like I said, it's got more holes than Swiss cheese does. It shouldn't have ever been approved to start with. Thank you. Oh, and everybody, have a nice and happy Thanksgiving.
All right, move on.
I don't wanna miss you, but.
Here we go again. Not a pump smoke, now it's a jet back. Where do we use it around town? Hello? Any answers?
Done with all your questions.
Okay. Where are we at on the budget for 2025? We got money left for this? Are we over budget, under budget? Where are we at? Where are we at, Dewey?
I think that
We got, how much more? Can we buy a couple more dump trucks? How about police cars and how much money? Are we under budget still?
you got that.
Why would you say that?
They spend a lot of money here.
That's not what I heard from you when you said you were running for council. We're gonna show you, Joe, we're gonna save money here, we know this does this, and we know we're gonna save some money in this town. I don't see it. Everything comes up here, everything, this, that, approve. Where are you saving money? Where? No, I got another, I have to say something to Josh. I think you ought to resign. Whoever said you should resign, I think you should resign and run for mayor. That's what you should do.
All good ideas, Michael.
Resign from here, run for mayor, then you can stick it right up the ass of whoever told you that.
That's not my pledge, Joe.
So, you'd have my vote, you got one.
And just so you know, nothing's approved on here yet.
All right. Okay. Hoping you guys take this vote, we don't need, I mean, jetpack, fuck, this is crazy. Oh, there's something else. What is this Junction Roads spruce redevelopment plan? Is this something new? What are they building there? What? Condominiums. When did they sneak this in?
That wasn't snuck in, that was with the whole, what, Danny, with the solar panel fields in the 90.
I thought the solar panel field was up around the bend.
It is, but it's like in that same area, it's between the Bend, Joe, and then, yeah, where the old
So
dump
there's
was.
condominiums, so they're gonna just destroy that whole side of Junction Road there, the woods, all that.
It's okay.
The same woods where the pine snakes come from, Pole Bridge Forest over to that same woods. And yet we just, here we go with redevelopment. And now we're talking about water, sewage, we need a jet vac, water, sewage. Greenberg Farm redevelopment, you don't have water for that, we gotta make a deal with Pemberton Borough. Pat telling you about this well. Why didn't you charge them for $1 million for to get that well? You're not very good businessman, I'd make them pay up to ask for it.
Joe, they weren't gonna pay anything at all.
Well, then they wouldn't get it, now would they?
No.
But you just gave in and said 80,000? That's what you're gonna give it to them for?
It was a done deal before we got here. We saved the town $10 million.
All right. How's your hunt trip?
Don't forget December 6th, well.
December 6th, yeah. Whoever said that to Josh needs to apologize to him, because I know how I get, I say stupid shit like that. You gotta swallow your pride, you gotta apologize to him. Whoever said that.
Joe, honestly, I don't want to apologize.
All right, well,
This'll be empty.
how you doing?
Anybody else? We're gonna take a 5-minute break.
10:15, everybody else did.